Evening, everyone. FPL is back, and we've got a very special guest on the channel this evening. I am joined by FPL Tom for a bit of a live Q&A, and I think we'll have a look at his team as well, if that's all right. How are you doing, Tom?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. So glad the season is back. I've missed talking about, little figures that are gonna kind of make our moods for the weekend, to be honest. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the season, let's put it that way. Yourself?
Yeah, mate, it's good. It's good to be back. I've kept myself busy over the summer, but it's nice. It's nice being back doing what we love, I think. How have you? What's your reaction to like the release of the game and the player prices, etc.? Have you found it so far?
I think it's been really good. I think they've got the prices correct, to be honest. Obviously, they had to, I think, increase everybody's price because it seemed like last year it was too easy to kind of get hold of the premiums. I think already we're seeing people, it looks like Haaland's a pretty much non-existent kind of asset amongst engaged managers, I'd say. A lot of them are going for kind of the Salah and Palmer double up. Obviously, when Gokeres comes in as well, there's probably going to be even more fluctuation in between premiums. So I really like the prices. I like the use of the double chips. It was something I recommended anyway in quite a few of my streams towards the end of the season. Not so keen on the AFCON transfers though. That just feels
Bit casual, that isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, a little bit casual, not for me. But everything else, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I remember, well, you can watch back my live stream of me launching the game and reacting to it all, but I spent the whole time panicking that I couldn't build a team that I was happy with, which in hindsight is actually a good thing. Like, it's really hard to fit in all of the players that you actually want, which I think is a... And also, in seasons gone by, there have always been like one or two cheap players that emerge as good ones, but I'm not sure we'll get that this season. I can't think of any that could emerge. I don't know about you.
No, I think maybe the only ones that I could potentially see happening was like if, like a 4.5 million youth player all of a sudden starts getting like really decent minutes. But I feel that would be completely out of the woodwork and no one will expect it, if you know what I mean. Like kind of like a Harry Kane breakthrough season where nobody really predicted it to happen.
That's fair, yeah.
And then it just kind of explodes onto the scene. That's the only real way I see us getting like a cheap enabler. I think they've priced everybody really fairly and really well, to be honest, because like you said, it is just hard to build a good team. You feel like even when you've built a good team you're happy with, there's maybe one or two players you're still like, I'd like to have got him in, but I just can't find a way to make it happen.
Yeah, my current rotation is build a team, check Twitter, see someone's team that looks better than mine, and then put those players into my team. I did that with yours, actually. I remember watching your first draft. I put a team together and then remembered that I wanted a bench boost in game week 1. I was like, oh, I spent all of my money on a starting 11 and I need a bench. So, yeah.
Just the way it goes. You've got to keep off Twitter for the whole course of pre-season, really, haven't you?
Yeah, pretty much. You get too excited. Before we get into our teams, because I'm going to share Tom's team and my team, I'll have a little chat about what we've got going on there. A couple of bits of news have come out this afternoon, I think probably post our uploads today. One of them is Gyökeres has been here we go'd by Fabrizio Romano to go to Arsenal. And I don't think it's been here we go yet, but it looks like Wissa is quite likely to move to Newcastle. I think he's actually forcing the move himself now by the looks. What's your reaction to that, mate?
I think that pretty much kills Visser as an option if he's going to Newcastle. I still think Isak's their starting striker. I don't really see them changing from the 4-3-3
No, yeah.
unless they've got something else planned. I think personally he's just going to be, just rotating in and out. It probably makes Isak less of an appealing asset as well, given his, I would say, injury record. There seems to always be a point in the season where he picks up an injury. So maybe they're thinking this year with Champions League football, we need someone that can just play against like the lesser opponents. And Visser definitely will be able to just bully them anyway. So I think it probably kills off both Visser and Isak, in my opinion, as potential options. Gyökeres we spoke about before we came live as well. I do think he's going to be a game changer depending on the price he comes in at. I think they've got to price him under Isak. If he's below 10, I think he probably goes to like 40% owned by game week 1. That's my like bold prediction out there. I don't know what you think on the situation.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think I can't remember exactly when he signed for them, but obviously Gabriel Jesus signed for Arsenal a few seasons ago, and he was at that kind of ownership when he signed, and he had a great start to the season as well. And I feel like Gyökeres could have the exact same impact, but I would actually say he's in my opinion at least, a slight level above Gabriel Jesus than when he signed for Arsenal. I mean, how many goals did he score for Sporting? 40 last season, something crazy last season, right? So he's going to come and he's obviously not proven in the Premier League, but he pretty much guarantees you goals, I think.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. He's just one of those assets that I think as well, one of the main the benefits he's going to have over maybe some other new signings is the fact that he's lived in England before.
Yeah.
And obviously understands the culture, the way of life. So I think he'll pretty much just slot straight back into English life and just be pretty much ready to go, to be honest.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I can't believe that he played for Brighton in Coventry as well. Coventry's so mad, isn't it? From Coventry to what he's been doing. But fair play to him.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's have a quick look at the chat a second. We got Daniel Wareham, Nixie. I think he was in your stream earlier as well. How did your team rating stream go? I saw you had like 100 replies on your tweet, didn't you? That must have taken you...
You'll be shocked to learn we didn't get through everyone.
No, I'm not surprised.
Because once I got near the bottom, there was just like a new swarm of people coming into the stream, then adding their teams in. So I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get to the bottom of this. So I think I might do potentially another one tomorrow if there's like the demand for it. But yeah, it went all right.
We will be there. Good to hear. Steve. Yeah, no, we were talking about this before the stream actually started, Paul. He was saying that he has to log in every time he launches FPL. I gather you're having to do that as well, aren't you? That's certainly something I've got to do.
Yeah, it's pretty annoying, to be honest. I think that's probably been one of the biggest downgrades this season is the UI and the
it's not great, is it?
Yeah, the feel of the website especially is just horrid. It's not a good looking website at all now.
No, I absolutely agree with you. Have you got it on the dark theme yet? Have you worked out how to get it onto the dark theme?
No, you're gonna have to show me this afterwards. How the hell do you get it?
I'll get it on dark theme. It's a lot better when it's dark, I promise.
Okay.
Yeah, we sort of covered that earlier, Stuart, on the 5 times AFCON transfers. I think it's a little bit of a casual move, but we all know what FPL is, right? It's a game to bring people into the Premier League or enhance their experience of the Premier League, and it's most people that play it, the 11 million or however many people that play it, are pretty casual. So yeah, I think it's a good move in that regard, but for us hardcores, probably less so.
Yeah, I agree. I remember speaking to this with my dad last year because we both played EFL Fantasy last year, and pretty much in that game you get unlimited free hits pretty much every week. And I compared it to kind of trading in the fact that FPL for large parts feels like you're just investing in like the S&P, where you pretty much just kind of like pretty hands off with your team a lot of the time. You've only got really one transfer to make. You don't really have, chips available for large parts of the season. Whereas that was like you're investing in crypto and it's just like up, down, sideways, everywhere. So I do feel like FPL needed to do something because, like you said, it is just a product for the Premier League to get you to watch more games. And I think with the amount of players that have already signed up, I think it's like record breaking for a first day.
Yeah,
it already shows that the changes that they have made have definitely brought more people on board. Whether or not now they can keep them engaged is another kind of situation we're going to have to wait and see what happens with, I guess.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, mate. I can't add in more to that. We got Paul in the chat as well. Good to see you, Paul, mate. A few questions about Gyökeres. I'm going to ask you then, before we get onto your team, predict Gyökeres' price for me. What's he going to be?
I think they're going to go 9.5.
Interesting. I'm going to say 10. I'm going to say 10. I think that's kind of continues the trend that they've done of making players difficult, I would say.
Yeah.
What else we got? Did you have a look at your team? Oh, and we'll have a look at your team, see if you've got them in first. You don't. Interesting. I was going to ask you about Florian Wirtz, but you don't have him in your team.
I've mixed around with him in a few drafts. The reason I haven't gone for him, if we want to start with Florian Wirtz first, I think the Bournemouth fixture is great for Liverpool, but then the ones after that are Newcastle and Arsenal, which don't seem like the best from an attacking standpoint, especially Newcastle away. I still think Liverpool will probably win all 3, but I just think for those opening 3, I think I'm probably better just maybe sitting on my hands, seeing how Wirtz gets on, and then making the move towards him rather than going for him initially. With the draft on screen, what I've tried to do is get as many penalty takers as possible within the team. So we've obviously got Salah, we've got Palmer, and Dye's going to be taking them for Everton. Chris Wood's a penalty taker as well. If Clivert leaves, and there are rumours that he might leave, Evan Nielsen will probably take back penalties. Solanke, with Son's minutes looking a little bit more dicey this year, probably going to be the penalty taker. And with Visser leaving now as well, you feel that door for the Brentford penalty taker is massively ajar. I think might be Damsgaard, and if it is, he could be a really good enabler at 6 million.
Yeah.
But I guess we're going to have to wait and see because nobody really knows who's going to take that mantle up. I think if obviously Visser stayed, it would be him. But now it looks like he's leaving. So again, that mantle's going to be kind of open and up for grabs, I guess. I'm trying to just think about who else I've really got in here. Gabriel, I think, Arsenal have got on paper, if you look at the FDR, they're like difficult fixtures. But Manchester United is not a grey in my interpretation. Yeah. I still think it's a green fixture. I don't think all of a sudden overnight, because they've signed 3 good players, that they're going to be some mega team who's going to roll over Arsenal. No. Just not going to happen. I like Wan-Bissaka. I think he looked really good towards the back end of the season. I think West Ham's defensive data under Potter definitely will be a lot better. I can't actually believe that they priced Konza at 4.5 million.
Yeah.
I fully thought they were going to price him at 5 million. Because he's just been one of those players that you can kind of just set and forget. Because he plays every single minute for Villa, and it's not like Villa are a bad team. They're a very, very good team.
They're very decent, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty set and forget 4.5 that you can just stick with, because Villa, regardless of who they play, especially at home, definitely can give anybody a game. So I feel quite comfortable with that one. And then the final pick I'm going to talk through is Coyote. Had a little bit of a love affair with him last season.
I remember, yeah.
Wasn't sure if he was going to come back to Brentford, but he has. The guy has got like a Rory Delap arm on him. Brentford have just obviously appointed their set piece coach from last season as the new manager.
Fair enough, yeah.
So you know what? You fully know that they're going to be playing for set pieces, and I imagine he's looking at a guy who can sling a ball into the box like that, licking his lips and thinking, "Yeah, we'll have some of that." So yeah, that's how the team's lined up. Anybody that you wanted me to speak through that I kind of didn't go through there, or yeah, all happy?
I don't think so, mate. You described it really well. Are you? Well, I guess Chelsea have gotten rid of their second choice, because they did have a little bit of rotation between Jurgensen and Sanchez, but they get rid of Jurgensen in the end, didn't they? Did he go to Bournemouth?
That was Petrovic.
That was Petrovic.
Yeah, so I think Jurgensen's still there, but I think after the Club World Cup, I think Sanchez is first choice now for the remainder of the season. Unless, obviously, Chelsea come out and say that they're going to buy a goalkeeper within the next few weeks.
Yeah, they're not going to change it, are they, from that? Yeah.
I think what I could do, if really just to save myself the hassle, is maybe I could potentially drop Sanchez for like a sells. Forest have obviously got really good fixtures and he's not going anywhere, so I could just avoid the hassle and kind of do that.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't have any other comments. It looks like a really strong team. And quite a lot of the players you've got there are pretty similar to mine. And the more I look at it, the more Schade looks like a more exciting option as time goes on. I already thought he was a one for considering when Mbeumo left, and now Wissa looks like he's on his way out. You'd think he's even more of an option, because whenever he's played as like cover for them, or he barely, he played restricted minutes last season, but still did really well. It's just a shame. I think 7 million is a little bit expensive for him. I was hoping they'd price him a little bit lower, but he's definitely an option, isn't he?
Yeah, I think if he 100% is confirmed as the penalty taker, or we see like him score one in pre-season, I think a lot of people will flock to him. I think as well, his versatility, he can play on the left or as the main striker itself. So they might not even go and replace Visser in the market. They might just chuck Schade up front. And again, there you've got an out of position player. So that potentially could be something to monitor as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. He could be kind of in Mbeumo Mark II, couldn't he?
Realistically could, yeah.
What do you reckon's going to happen? Obviously, Brentford have had a bit of a rough time of it this summer, haven't they? I remember, I think you replied to one of my tweets about it, actually. Do you think they'll be all right, I imagine, when they were their sort of Moneyball, Data FC tactics that they deploy?
Yeah, Brentford are probably my Premier League team. They're the team that I watched a lot of games for last season. And if you go onto Transfer Mark and go back every single season, you can see that they lost their key players every single year. And like people write them off like, oh, this will be the year. This will be the year they go down, or this is the year that when they were in the Championship and they were selling Watkins, Ben Rama, they were like, they won't be up there this year, lads.
It's true.
Ruled them out. But every single year, they just find gems or someone develops into that next player. Like Visser was okay last year, probably had like a Sharda level season where he was in and out of the side, did get himself a few goals, and his per 90 data actually looked quite good. But then this season, he's become that main man that Brentford needed him to be, and he's gone up to another level. So maybe we see that again with Sharda this year. Obviously, they've got Thiago as well, who was their record signing.
Yeah.
Didn't even play barely any minutes last season due to injury. Again, he could be, I've not seen them in the market for another striker. So they must feel really confident in him or Sharda for them not to be kind of, murmur to be buying anyone. So I think they'll be fine. I genuinely think they'll be fine. It's just kind of the Brentford way, really.
It is.
They're happy. They're happy to sell their best players, and they just somehow manage to stay up every single season, or even this last season, kick on despite selling Ivan Toney.
I'm glad I asked you that question, because you made a very valid point about Wisser. Because, yeah, I mean, he 17 goals last season off the back of Toney leaving. And the season before, you would not have Wisser down as a 17-goal striker. So you're absolutely right, and that could well be Sharda. Yeah, I agree. Shall I have a look at my team? Let's
go for it,
Let's
man.
have a quick goosey. So I've got the dark theme on, as you might be able to tell. I did originally have a slightly different team. The first draft video I made on my channel doesn't consider a bench boost in Game Week 1. But I think we've discussed this as well offline. I think with the way the chips are working this season, I think Game Week 1 is prime time to use a bench boost, really, because it's a free wildcard, isn't it? You get to pick your entire 15 players for free. So I've done so with that in mind. So my original team did have Isak in it, but I've spread the funds now. So rather than Isak and a 4.5 million striker, I've gone for Evan Nilsson and João Pedro. And not actually sure I'm a massive fan of João Pedro. I just think he's going to be really highly owned for the first few weeks. And at least for the first few weeks, I think he probably starts. And then maybe if his form drops off, there might be some competition for him. But I just don't see him not starting the first couple of games. What do you make of João Pedro?
I think the rumours circulating, I think Jackson's probably going to go before the end of the window. And I don't think that Delap is going to be the starting striker at the start of the season. I do think it will be João Pedro.
Yeah.
And like you said, with the ownership, what is he now? I've got it up in front of me.
Must be high 40s.
Nearly 60% already. I think when you get a player that is like that ridiculously highly owned, especially at the start of the year, the safer option is probably just to pick him. And I do think he will start. The fixtures for Chelsea across the first 6 are really decent as well. So he could be one of those players that, of course, just hits the ground running. But the reason I'm also obviously like him as an option is the price point. There's so many good options this year at 7.5, where I think you've got that flexibility to kind of just move around him. If, of course, he doesn't do well, or, of course, the Chelsea fixtures turn, or he starts seeing decreased minutes, you've got that ability to go, okay, there's a good set of players at 6.5, like your Strand Larssons, Evan Nielsen's at 7. Then you could also, switch to, if you've not got Solanke's there, Chris Wood's there as well at the 7.5 as well. So there's plenty of options around that price point. So I think with the ownership, the sensible play is just to have him in your side.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and I didn't have him in my first draft, but
you've probably chopped and changed it already. I think you said your draft has actually changed from what you showed me. I'm trying to think who's different. I think we've gone pretty similar in our defence. I've had to go a little bit cheaper in terms of my keeper because I couldn't afford Sanchez. I think the best 4.5 keeper is Kelleher. Don't know if you've got a different opinion on that. I think if you're picking a 4.5 million keeper, he's probably the one.
Yeah, it's probably Kelleher or maybe Verbergen.
Yeah.
Just thinking maybe Brighton have a better season. I don't know. I think they're all probably going to be around similar, maybe like 10-point difference between them.
Yeah.
So I don't think I won't lose too much sleep over it, to be honest.
So yeah, we both had Gabriel and Wan-Bissaka. I agree with you on Wan-Bissaka and Gabriel. I think Gabriel, even though there are other, what's quite cool, by the way, is that FPL have capped the defender price at 6 million this season. But I just think of there's two quite exciting attacking fullbacks that are on the scene in Frimpong and Aït-Nouri, but I don't think you can guarantee their minutes at the moment. I'm just not. I don't fully trust it. Whereas Gabriel, he's just going to play every game. And I think based on what we saw from him with his attacking threat last season, surely he's going to get some set-piece goals at some point. Again, he's going to get back in that kind of form. So I went for him. I really liked De Kuyper of Brighton. You would probably remember this as well. I think he was heavily touted back in the Euros, which was last summer now, to start for Belgium. And he was really popular in the game, I think, until he had I think he must have fallen out with the manager or something like that. Then he didn't, I don't think he got picked in the end. But he just looks like a super attacking sort of left-sided defender. And Estupiñán, I believe, you've got the shirt on, is signed for AC Milan today by the looks of it. So I think it's a free run for De Kuyper to play for Brighton. Have you looked much into him?
Yeah, he's actually in my my latest draft that I've kind of been tinkering around with. I just think for 4.5 million, I've looked at his attacking numbers. Even before he joined Club Bruges, my God, there are some amazing numbers in there. And you think if he can emulate that at Brighton, man, he could be a real gem at 4.5 million. I think he's going to be like the kind of like the darling of the FPL community, really. All for him just to get like a 1-pointer against Fulham match day one.
That's exactly what's going to happen. You predicted it to a T. Midfield, I got a couple players different. I've picked in this draft. I've got Hudson-Odoi because I thought with Elanga leaving Nottingham Forest, he's going to be entrusted with more of the ball and more attack. You'd imagine he gets more attacking responsibility. But since then, I've actually changed it to Dwight McNeil because I looked at Dwight McNeil's. You were a bit sceptical when I mentioned him off stream, but I looked at Dwight McNeil's numbers last season when he was actually playing and was fit, and they were really good. And if he produces anything like that, I think 6 million will be a pretty decent price tag. But you do have to pick Dwight McNeil, and also there's Njai for 0.5 million more, who's likely going to take penalties for Everton as well.
Yeah. I think there's some good assets for Everton, to be honest, especially within the attack. If you can find out who the nailed forward's going to be as well, is it going to be better or is it going to be that Barry? But looking at their opening three, Leeds, Brighton, Wolves, I could realistically see Everton.
They're scoring in all of those games, aren't they? Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice three, to be honest. So I think having an Dyer and McNeil as kind of that budget option within the midfield. Obviously, they're a little bit more expensive than what we were used to last season, but as kind of budget options, I think they could be, the route to potentially building some, nicer drafts and potentially getting some more expensive players in as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I've also gone for Eze as well, who traditionally starts off a little bit slow, but I just really like him, mate. I think he ticks all the boxes of a player you want in FPL. Someone who plays every game, pretty much every minute, is just the absolute talisman and takes all the set pieces. And it's just in Palace's blood to start a bit slow, isn't it? So I'm hoping that doesn't happen this season. But at the moment, I'm trusting Eze. We'll see.
Yeah, I've been trying to find drafts where I like Eze in the side, to be honest. But every time I do, I'm just not a big fan of like the opening 6 fixtures. Because you've got Chelsea in the opening game. Maybe Palace get a result there. I don't know. Forest, God knows what Forest's going to turn up this season.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? What do you make of them?
They fell off a cliff completely last season.
They did, didn't they?
At the back end. If you look at their expected goals conceded, they were right down the bottom. I think it was only Tottenham and the 3 teams that were relegated second half of the season. So a massive drop off from where they were for the first campaign. Because I can remember going into like every single video, we were like at the start of the season, like, oh, Forest, top of the XG conceded charts, got to have those Forest defenders in. Second half of the season,
they were pants, weren't they?
Yeah. But yeah, Villa as well. Villa away in match day 3 for Eze as well. I just think 2 away fixtures that are pretty difficult doesn't seem like the ideal start point maybe for Eze, for me personally, just from a fixture perspective. But I 100% understand why you've gone for him, because like you said, he fits the talisman profile, and that is something that can, of course, just be a route to points, even with the fixtures not quite being there.
I think I'm going to end up doing Eze to Shada and Hudson-Odoi to Enjoy and have exactly the same team as you in that case. But yeah, he's in there at the moment. But yeah, you make very valid points there. I think he was in your team as well. We didn't cover him. I've got Rodgers. I just think for the price point, you can't really do much better. I don't know. And obviously Villa have got really good fixtures. They've the best fixtures to kick off according to all of the tickers that I've seen.
I'd 100% agree. You could hold Rodgers realistically till game week 8. Looking at this, Newcastle, Brentford, Palace, Everton, Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley, Tottenham as an opening 8 set of fixtures.
It's great,
So
isn't it?
you've only got what, one team there that finished within the top 5 within your opening 8. I think Rodgers is looking like a really good pick, isn't he?
Yeah, I would completely agree with you. I think the rest of the players we've all kind of covered. I mean, the only thing I'm struggling with alongside Conser is which other 4.5 million defender to pick. I've got Udogi for the opening fixture against Burnley because I'm bench boosting. Feels like a relatively sensible thing to do, but there's quite a few 4.5 options, aren't there? Are there any other sort of 4.5 defenders we haven't mentioned that you like? I might get FPL up on my screen to have a quick look as well.
Yeah, there's a guy called Truffett, I think it's pronounced.
Is he the Bournemouth guy?
Yeah. So there's Truffett, who was, I think, being touted with Liverpool last summer. So, and there's the Bournemouth are, again, a very sensible club with their recruitment. As long
You'd
as
be surprised if he's a stinker, wouldn't you?
Yeah, as long as you can bench him in game week 1, Wolves, Tottenham, Brighton, Newcastle, I wouldn't mind playing a defender against any of those, with Newcastle being at home as well. I don't mind that. I think Senesi as well from from Bournemouth could also be a great option. Spent a lot of last season out injured. The year before that, he got 4 goals and 5 assists from centre back.
Yeah. He's basically just going to come in and fill back in for Howson, isn't he? I don't think they'll even want to sign someone, really.
Yeah. So I think Bournemouth probably defensively are going to be where you might find a little bit of value at 4.5.
Yeah, I like that.
This season. It is just, of course, making sure you're not playing them in game week 1, which is the kind of the issue. I think sometimes people see just the game week 1 fixtures and they don't have I don't know how to describe it, but they've not got the capacity to see past it.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a few comments on some of my videos being like, why have you got Evan Nielsen? I'm like, well, they've got Liverpool, in the first game, but then you look after that, Wolves and Tottenham, like 2 of the worst defences for XG conceded last season. Evan Nielsen, Bagsman and Bournemouth's attacking numbers, great. Like, you just got to see past the difficult fixtures sometimes and focus on the more long term, especially with our game week 1 drafts.
Yeah, that's an absolute secret you'd give to anyone that's sort of new to playing FPL, isn't it? That's the secret. Play it long term. You have to make less transfers that way as well.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat because it's been absolutely going off while we've been chatting there. I'm trying to keep up with the questions. A couple of questions on Strand Larson. What do you make of him?
I think he could be a really good asset. Performed exceptionally well without Cunha in the side.
He did.
So obviously people might be worried, like, oh, there's no Cunha, he's not going to do very well. I think he ended up getting like 19 goal involvements last season. Let me just have a look. Was it 19?
I'll have a quick check as well if you can.
18.
That's still very respectable.
Very respectable for a team that most of the year were bottom 3, just snuck out of it towards when obviously they appointed their new manager. If you can get past the City fixture, Bournemouth, Everton, Newcastle, Leeds after that, I think him and Evan Nielsen would be a nice kind of rotating pair as cheap forwards. Obviously bench one, keep one, bench one, keep one, kind of that way. So I think Strand Larson is a player that I have been tinkering around with into this new season.
I'd have to agree with you. Yeah. Paul has asked about Murillo. What do you make of Murillo? We kind of gave our opinions on Forest, didn't we, dropping off towards the end of last season?
Yeah, I covered this in the video I put out today about players to avoid, and I actually said both of the 5.5 million defenders for Forest, for me, feel like avoids. I think people just suss them out towards the back end of the year. I don't think their defensive numbers will be as good, so probably less clean sheets. But of course, Murillo was an absolute machine with the clearances, with the tackles. So obviously that helps him in terms of the defensive contributions actions points that he could be picking up. So it's kind of one of those where, do you want to be paying 5.5 million for someone you think might get clean sheets, but also has a very strong probability of picking up the defensive actions? I think for me, I want to see how kind of potent these points are they going to be worth spending that extra zero point 0.5 or 5 million over, say, like an Aina or a Williams? Or are they just not going to cut the mustard? I think it's a hard one to call, really. I'd like to hear what your opinion is on it.
I'm going to be boring because it's exactly the same as yours, really. I was sort of hoping that these good defensive contribution players would be cheaper, because I think, say, if Murillo and Aina are a similar price, that's a difficult decision. But because they're different, it just makes it so much easier for me. What I was hoping for is that you'd have like Tarkovsky and Mikolenko both being 4.5 million, and then you've got a bit of a tough decision on who you pick out of the more attacking Everton fullback or the one that's less attacking but likely to get those contribution points. But yeah, I feel like the idea of the points scoring, the idea is good, but I think they've priced the players incorrectly to make the most of it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. And something they tweaked within the bonus was if a player clears the ball off the line now, they're going to get absolutely milked. Like they're going to be like automatically free bonus.
Right.
And one of the players that did that for Nottingham Forest and is on, if they line up the same from set pieces again, Aina is on the line from corners.
Interesting.
And I remember last season, towards the start of the year, I think he cleared the ball off the line twice, and in both of those games, he picked up free bonus.
Okay.
So it just seems like that might be a broken metric to potentially exploit. Like, look where people stand on corners.
Yeah.
Like, it's dumb, but at the same time, like that might be the difference between, you know, you finishing top of your mini league and you finishing second. Like, these are the fine little margins where you've got to make up that difference. So being a little bit of a nerd and looking at corners is probably going to be my homework for the next few weeks.
I'm glad I had you on now. I've got my money's worth out of you already for that little fact, I reckon. Thank you, mate. That's really useful. Cursed Epic has asked me, he's asked me 4 times, what are your thoughts on Isak and his position? I think it's, well, did we talk about this on stream? Because we had a good chat before. I can't remember if we were live or not when we spoke about it, but it was the bringing in of Wissa for Newcastle. I think it lessens Isak as an option. And I think Gyökeres signing as well. If he's a good price, I don't see why, and he's like $1 million cheaper than Isak, I don't see why you'd go for Isak. I think I'd save $1 million and go for Gyökeres. And also I think Gyökeres' ownership is going to be insane as well if he is that price.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I think what you could do, maybe if you're not 100% convinced on maybe Gyökeres at the start, is maybe go Watkins. If they're priced very similar, because you know the Villa fixtures are there for the next, you know, few. So you can wait and see, get past the game week 3, obviously where Arsenal play Liverpool, and then make your mind up on him as well if you don't want to go full in on him. So yeah, I think this signing probably kills Isak as an option for me personally.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. Just trawling down the questions. One thing about defensive contribution points, actually, obviously they impact midfielders as well. And there's 3 in particular that I've seen people pick in. One being Caicedo from Chelsea, another one being Declan Rice, but a player that I'm sort of interested, I think we might have exchanged some messages about it, but I think Rodri from Man City could be quite interesting for it as well. Just because I think he's probably the leader of the 3, actually, because the last season he was fit in the Premier League. I'm pretty sure he got 8 goals, 9 assists. Like, he had a very respectable season from an attacking perspective. And you'd like to think, just with the position that he plays, he's probably going to pick up a fair few of those contribution points. What do you make of those midfielders? Have you considered any of them so far?
I think Rodri for 6.5. If he was 1 million cheaper, I think I'd have been all over it. 6.5 though, I think I'd still target attacking players in that price point.
You're competing with Njai, who you described, aren't you? Who's probably going to play in an attacking position for Everton and take penalties.
Exactly. So what would I rather have? A player that can go and get, you know, a mega haul, or someone that, I'm just having a look who else is around that 6.5 million. But yeah, and Jai is a great example. Saar from Crystal Palace, Matoma, Damsgaard, if Damsgaard's on penalties.
He's even cheaper, isn't he? He's 6, isn't he? Damsgaard?
Yeah, Damsgaard's 6. This is what I mean. I just think the options that you've got here from an attacking standpoint are much better than just picking up a player that probably is just going to get maybe like 4 every other week.
I
I
think
just think,
they've got the pricing wrong to make the most of this contribution points, haven't they? I really think that.
yeah, I think if it's 5.5, I think you've got an argument. 6.5, like, I just can't see myself going for somebody that's going to get 4 every other week. Like he might pick up some goals and assists, maybe. But if I remember rightly, that season where he was very prolific, a lot of those goals came from outside the box.
Yeah, yeah. Is
Is
that going to
that
be
look gonna?
replicated? Yeah.
Yeah, is that look gonna swing that way again? Probably not. I personally think just for 6.5, I'd rather have a more attack-minded player, in my personal opinion. I don't know what you think.
I think that's absolutely fair enough. I think Caicedo's, is he 5'5"? He could be decent value at that, but then he doesn't really do anything from an attacking perspective. So yeah, I think the jury's out on those kinds of midfielders. I've seen a lot of people picking Declan Rice as well, and I think he's in the same category. I'm just not massively convinced.
The only thing I think probably going for Declan Rice is the fact that he takes some corners and some free kicks. So that's probably where he maybe makes up for it a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. What else have we got? We've spoken about De Kuyper. Go back to the start when you look at when my team's on the screen, Michael, and we go through him. Thoughts on City midfielders? Are you interested in any of the Man City midfielders?
Yeah, so the draft I have been tinkering around with actually has
You don't have Rangers. Oh, Marmoush. Okay, interesting.
The reason that I've gone for him is I think the City fixtures are really good at the start of the year.
Yeah.
I'm just bringing them up now.
I'm going to ask you another question related to City as well. You can probably guess what it's going to be.
Yeah, they've got Wolves, Tottenham, Brighton, Manchester United. None of those defences were good last year. None of them. They've got Arsenal in 5, which, you know, is a difficult fixture. But then following on from that, Burnley, Brentford, Everton. Like, I think we've got to have a City attacker, but I think I would rather have Salah ahead of Haaland.
Yeah.
So trying to find somebody that is going to be able to kind of maybe cover off Haaland to some sort of extent. I think Marmoush is probably the best at that since joining the club. Only Gvardiola's played more minutes than him. So
that's quite an interesting fact. You've got all the facts today, mate. That's a good one, that.
You can tell I filmed like 3 videos today.
You've nailed it.
Plowing about. But yeah, obviously that was during a time where Haaland was injured though as well. So you do have to factor that in. But I still think when City looked their best last season, it was when Haaland and Marmoush were both on the pitch. So I want some City coverage. And the beautiful thing is, after, say, 3 game weeks, if it's not quite working for him, I could just switch to Wirtz.
Yeah, that's a good product. That's a really good idea. Yeah.
Because then they go into Burnley, Everton, Palace. I think maybe start with Marmoush, who I think will start the season, see how Wirtz gets on. I could bring him in for Burnley.
I like it. I like that. I've not even considered him so far. And I think that's a really good shout. It's similar to João Pedro in my mind, that as the season goes on, you'd be worried about his minutes. But you think for these first like 3 or 4 fixtures, you're Pep, you're starting Marmoush every game, aren't you?
Yeah, I think he starts. And like I said, I think the City fixtures, if you look on the 11-a-fide numbers, they're actually top for projected goals.
Yeah.
Over the opening 6.
Yep.
And like, I've not seen anybody either, number one, build a good Haaland draft that covers off Salah effectively, or number 2, has any other City attackers in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that could be like, it's not like they're just like some mid-table side.
They're Man City. They're going to be challenging for the title definitely this season.
Exactly. So you think they're going to score some goals. Like Wolves were woeful at the back last season for large parts. So I think they could rip them apart match day 1. And you could be, I think he's only at like 18%, 16% ownership.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's nice.
That could be, you know, the mega start. Whereas, you know, Wirtz might be a little bit slow off the ground. You know, it's not the easiest run of fixtures. Bournemouth, Newcastle, Arsenal. You could be ahead of the curve already and bring him in. Maybe if his price goes down because everyone's flogging him before Burnley, and you're up on people.
This is what we brought him on for, ladies and gents. I think even in the title of this video, your YouTube channel is linked. I haven't even asked this yet. Make sure you subscribe to FPL Tom's channel as well. You can see his Twitter on this screen. Give him a follow on there, and yeah, make sure to subscribe. We're just gonna have a look to see if there's anything else.
Cheers, man.
I need help. I don't know who to put in midfield. I have 8 million. Call for help. An 8 million or below midfielder.
Ooh. I guess it depends who you've already got, but let me quickly bring up midfielders and have a look. I hate flicking through this website, by the way.
While you're doing that, good to see you, Cortex. I see you as well, Paul. Thank you for joining. Harmony, good to see you. Sorry, I'm really trying to keep up with the chat, but it's going mental. So thank you everyone for your messages. I'll try and carry on, mate. Sorry.
I probably would say Rodgers, Semenyo if you can bench them in game week 1. Sharda, who we've spoke about. Eze could be a decent option. A player we've not actually spoke about is Kudus. I don't know what you think.
That's telepathic, because I just saw a question in the chat about Kudus and I was going to ask you. He's in every single Twitter draft I've seen so far, and I don't rate him.
Oh no, mate! I think he's going to be this year's Nkunku.
I agree. I don't even know if he's going to play.
Yeah, they've got. I spoke about this in. I think I built like an ultimate bench boost team. On a video that's coming out on the channel, like that's just solely focused on game week 1, and I actually put Brennan Johnson in there ahead.
They've got Kulusevski and Brennan Johnson, who had really good seasons last year, and James Maddison as well behind. I just don't see where Kudus is a guaranteed starter there, to be honest.
No, I think if you want to go for a Spurs attacker, go Dominic Solanke.
Absolutely.
There's not another forward there. There's like Tell, but I mean, he doesn't count.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not going to be taking much minutes off Dominic Solanke. So yeah.
No, he's probably going to take minutes off Kudus, isn't he? So yeah.
Exactly.
No, I completely agree. It seems I think you're right there, Nixie, to question his minutes. Oh God, there's so many questions. Have you seen any 4 million defenders that you like?
Yeah, my favourite is Estev from Burnley, who actually plays FPL as well.
Interesting.
But he's at 4 million. He had a really, really good season for Burnley last year. Obviously, their strong defensive record in the Championship last year. I imagine you're a lot more versed to that than me.
They were unbelievable last season, mate. Yeah.
So I think, Scott Parker will probably look to emulate that. They'll probably be trying to just keep as many clean sheets, keep, as many clearances as possible for him as well. Could also be a nice avenue to points. He might pick up quite a few defensive contributions.
That's a really good shout, actually. Yeah, these Burnley defenders are going to absolutely nail that bonus, aren't they? They're going to have so much, and that's one of the things as well that defensive contribution points. It obviously favours defenders who are more active. Like look at the likes of Gabriel, Saliba, and the Man City defenders. I don't think they're going to come anywhere near it because they just don't defend. They don't have any work to do. Whereas these Burnley defenders, that's all they're going to be doing all game long, you think?
Yeah, they're just going to be lofting the ball out, aren't they? If you look at the players, I can't remember if it was Focal that tweeted it, but basically it's the centre backs and the teams that have like low possession and usually play a low block. That pretty much like favour this metric. And it's very similar with EFL fantasy because I think this is the reason they brought it in just capped at 2 points. Because if you played that game last year, you know that the clearance metric was broken. Because what you'd have is you just have a set of players that played for pretty rubbish teams. Like there was a guy called Anthony O'Connor who played for Harrogate. Now, Harrogate finished like 18th in League Two, but he was one of the top scoring defenders on the game because he didn't even need to keep a clean sheet because he'd have like 24 clearances every single game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it was like for every, I think like 2 clearances, it was 1 point.
So he's broken.
Yeah, so I think that's what they've probably seen that and been like, we've got to limit this at 2 or we're going to have blooming like Estev as their top scoring defender for the season. And everyone's going to just be rolling like 5 backs with like 2 Burnley defenders, a Leeds defender in just because they're hoofing the ball away.
I tell you what, the more I think about that, I mean, you could genuinely consider starting him, couldn't you? Even if he doesn't keep clean sheets or anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
you've got a 4 million defender who's a genuinely startable player there. I'm sure there'll be another one that emerges as well. Maybe that's what people. Maybe there won't be a value attacker, but there'll be more value in those kind of defenders. One you could start almost every week for that bonus.
agreed. As long as they're not playing like City or Chelsea and they're going to get like walloped, I think you'd feel pretty comfortable playing them against like a Brighton. If he's going to get you 4 points,
It's pretty
maybe
decent,
a
isn't
chance of
it?
a clean sheet. Yeah, why not?
What else have we got? Someone suggesting Heaven from United. Maybe. Someone also said, is it Lefay of Sunderland as well? Five. Is he 5 million? Is he?
Yeah, he's 5 million. He's
That's
quite
interesting. Good. He's on penalties as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
that's quite good. That is quite good. He's probably the cheapest midfielder I'd actually pick that I've seen so far.
Yeah, I've gone for in a draft I've recently built, Lewis Miley.
Yeah, I saw him as well. I don't mind that. That was of all the 4.5 million midfielders I saw when I was doing my first draft, he stuck out to me.
Yeah, everyone else, they've pretty much killed that position. There's no Harry Winks this year.
No. No. And with that's one other question that leads me to, are you seeing that all of your drafts are in the same formation, or have you been chopping and changing the formation?
Most of them have been in like a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. But the one at the moment is a 4-back, just because I've got Evan Nielsen in it, and obviously I don't really fancy playing him against Liverpool.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
And I've got defenders that all have home fixtures, so I might as well play a 4-back.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What else have we got? Someone saying Hickey from Brentford at 4 million. Might be a starter. If he's starting, yeah, he's a good option in that case. Rodon, is he 4 million as well?
Yeah, Joe Rodon's 4.
He's 4, so he'll play as well. So yeah, there's no shortages there. You've got some 4 million playing defenders there. Maybe that's the secret, is to pick a couple of them.
Yeah, I think FPL have been right sneaky here. Someone in my stream earlier was mentioning Keane Lewis Potter.
Right.
If you don't know who Keane Lewis Potter is, I imagine you remember who Keane Lewis Potter is from your time in the Championship.
Yeah.
With Hull. The guy scored a lot of goals.
What's his price?
He's a defender.
Let's have a look.
At 5 million. If he was 4.5, I think maybe could be worth consideration. But again, they've gone very much like fan team with their prices, haven't they? Where they're like, well, there's a slight chance he could be a bit broken. 5 million.
Yeah, they've done really well. There's no like, other than I think you're shouting as Steve might be the standout really, but yeah, there's no absolute obvious bargains that I've seen.
No. Nope. What do you think about United players? Because I've been getting a lot of stick on TikTok and on YouTube for basically bashing United. Just wondered if you fancied bashing United or if you disagreed.
No, I do agree. I don't have any. I do think you could pick Bruno Fernandes because he just ticks all the boxes. He'll play every game for 90 minutes, take penalties. Don't know exactly what position he's going to play in. You'd imagine it's a midfield pivot and he's the more attacking of the two. That would be my gut feel. But does that mean, with the attackers that they've signed, are they going to take away returns from him? But also, I think he'll probably do all right for defensive contributions as well, just with how much work he does. He's the only one I'd consider picking, though. I've seen people with Ahmad in their team, but I don't think Ahmad is necessarily going to start because he's competing with Cunha and Mbeumo for the two winger positions. Where does Ahmad fit in there? Maybe one of those two, Cunha and Mbeumo, play centre forward, but they don't strike me as out-and-out strikers. I don't know about you. I feel like Cunha on the left and Mbeumo on the right. That's how they're going to play. So I don't see room for Ahmad either. People suggesting he could play right wing back. I don't know.
Do you want a midfielder playing right wing back though?
No, exactly. And he's playing Arsenal. I don't think he's going to start at right wing back against Arsenal. That's my gut feel. He probably comes in off the bench, but yeah. I've also seen Alanga's pretty popular as well on another topic. I've just seen him in the comments as well. But sticking to United, Bruno's the only one.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the fixtures now. In their opening 8, they play 4 of last season's top 5.
Yeah, it's mental.
I just don't think you can go near them. They've got Burnley and Sunderland as like one-off home games, but honestly, like this could be a bold prediction. That might be the only two games they win out of the opening eight.
Yeah.
Fulham and Brentford away is the other ones. Like
Last time they played
genuinely,
Brentford away, they just lose 4-0 at Brentford every time, don't they?
exactly. Like they could literally be on 6 points after 8 games.
Yep.
There's nothing stopping them being in that position.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, maybe I'll get slandered in the comments again.
Mate, I agree with you for what it's worth. Tell those TikTok casuals what put them in their place. He played a majority of his games last season at right wing back, did he? He played some. I don't think he played all of his games there. People considering Welbeck as well. What's Welbeck's price? He could be quite nice, couldn't he?
6.5 is Welbeck.
So he's another one of those sort of cheap forwards, isn't he? And you imagine who would take penalties at Brighton with no João Pedro? Could that be Welbeck?
Yeah, I was saying this earlier in my stream. I think it's going to be Welbeck.
Yeah.
But then I saw a load of drafts with people with like this Greek forward from Brighton in, who I've never heard of, but apparently they bought him for like 30 mil.
Stefanos Simas.
Yeah, I think that's the guy. Like, I was like, who?
Oh no, they got two. They've got Kostulas as well. Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, who are these guys that people are just ramming in?
Yeah.
And again, it is Brighton, so you never know. Like those could be the next like Gokeres on their hands.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they did also have Gokeres as well, didn't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you can never trust Brighton. You don't know what they're gonna do.
What else have we got? I'll do a couple more questions because I think our team's meeting's about to run out as well. Spoken about McNeil. Will you leave any money in the bank? Feels like everyone regrets not doing it. I think for me, my Game Week 1 team will be with the view to play a bench boost. So I think I'll have 15 playing players and an expensive asset on my bench. So I'm quite comfortable spending all the money, to be honest. I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think it makes sense with your team. I left a little bit in the bank last year and it definitely helped me out. But I think it's a different game. Like there's not really any kind of budget picks that have emerged so far to leave money in the bank, really. Like there's not like a comfortable 5 million midfielder I'd be happy to, leave $1 million in the bank for. So I think right now, probably not.
Yeah, absolutely. And you I kind of alluded it when I mentioned bench boost Game Week 1. We'll make this the final question. Have you got any early views on how you want to use your chips?
Yeah, I think if I brought in Gokeres, I would be maybe tempted to go free hit match day 3. Because obviously I'll have Liverpool and Arsenal.
There's a bit of a swing in that week, isn't there?
Yeah, that game could have a lot of goals in it. But if you're looking at the fixtures to target that week, Brentford have got Sunderland, United have Burnley, Newcastle have Leeds. So you could get like Alexander Isak in, who like nobody's really going to be owning. So he could be a big differential for that one. In terms of my triple captain, it's probably going to be played on like Salah. You could go early, like match day 4 against Burnley. But yeah, I've not really thought about where I want to play my chips. I think I've read that people are going to be wildcarding in 13, and then like taking their transfers, their 5 AFCON transfers as like another mini wildcard. So like have like a little bit of like a 3-week window of just targeting teams.
You've got to think about that, haven't you? That AFCON, because that is a free wildcard, as you said. You can use all your transfers before then and then get 5 more.
Yeah, I'm just having a look at this period between 13 and 16. So you could load up on Bournemouth players. They have Sunderland and Everton and then take them out. Be very easy to do that. Arsenal got pretty difficult fixtures, but then you probably want them back for 16. So Gokeres out for a few weeks when they've got Chelsea and Villa away. Bring in triple Liverpool for those 3 weeks. Get the best out of Salah with West Ham, Sunderland and Leeds. City have Leeds, Fulham and Sunderland during that period as well. So yeah, there's a lot. I think that's probably going to be the window where I'm going to try and play my first wild card. Is in 13 and use it as like basically get 2 wild cards out. I think that's probably going to be the play I'm going to go for.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. And I can't imagine, I'm just thinking out loud, I can't imagine who bar Salah at the moment I fancy that is an African asset, to be honest. I'm just looking, I'm probably wrong in there are some in my team. No, it's just Salah is the only one at the moment.
Yeah,
Udoghi's Italian, isn't he? He doesn't. He's registered for Italy, I think.
Yeah, it's not like a few years ago where we had like a decent crop of like African talent within the Premier League. Like it's really dropped off in the past 4 years. Obviously, thinking like Mane,
Yeah.
I think
Mahrez, people like that.
Mahrez, yeah, exactly. You had like a good plethora of pickable talent. Now it just seems like, well, we just don't need Salah for a couple of weeks.
That's the only impact it's going to have. Maybe Mbeumo if he starts banging him in for United, but yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anything else you wanted to say? I was thinking of ending it there because I think we covered all the questions that we had.
No, yeah.
Of course, Marmoush and 8 Nori as well. That's fair enough.
Yeah. They're the other ones. But again, they're heavy rotation risk, I think, unless they're absolutely slapping it at that point in the season. No, I think all good from me, mate. Thank you for having me on. I'm looking forward to the new season.
Oh, mate, my pleasure. Thank you so much. You already gave, I think, lots of insights that I couldn't, so I really appreciate that. And definitely, if you haven't already, I think he's tagged in the video title with his YouTube at, but please subscribe to FPL Tom. He's a great FPL YouTuber, deserves a subscription. And I didn't ask for this during the whole stream, but if you could, please leave a like rating on the stream as well. It really helps boost it in the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you very much for watching. I'm sure we'll do something together again before the season starts. Probably on your channel as a little, so we can change it up. But yeah, thank you for coming on.
No worries, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone. I'll see you later.